Welcome to Sharp or Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the show that makes the square sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, my companion, my compadre, my BFF professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
How you doing, Chad? I had a great night, but obviously let me hear about your great night first. Everyone's dying to know. I know you posted some stuff to social media, and it was very fun following along. So what went on yesterday with you,
Oh,
Chad?
my God, dude. So obviously I'm in a hotel in Atlanta right now, so I can't scream because it's still early in the morning on Saturday. Look, the whole day in Atlanta yesterday, it felt like being in Bloomington. There were no Oregon Ducks fans. It was Hoosiers everywhere. And I spent the entire day, I told you I came down with my buddy Matt. And this is a guy who, we've been best friends since second grade. We've gone to Cubs World Series. We've gone to Bears Super Bowls. He went to Indiana with me. We've been to so many Indiana football and basketball games. We used to go to Bears games growing up because his family had season tickets. So we have been to a lot of sporting events together. The whole town was dressed in red. Everywhere you went, it was just call and response all day. Hoosiers, everywhere. People were giddy, absolutely giddy. And then when you got to the game, we saw a guy who we went to college with who's from Atlanta who comes to Falcons games. And he's like, there is never this kind of electricity in the stadium. It was truly like being at a home game in Bloomington. And on that first pick, the DeAndre Pons interception for a touchdown, I swear to God, we were levitating. I have never jumped so high again and again and again. Nobody could feel their feet on the ground. It was truly glorious, absolutely glorious. Like the buzz in that stadium. We've talked about the top 5 sporting events before. This was unparalleled. Because it's your team, because we had ridiculous seats. We were 9th row, 30-yard line on the Indiana sideline. And we were, 2 sections over from the band, and the whole stadium is in red. And you're hearing your fight song, which you've sung 1,000 times. And at the end, everyone, 70,000 people, because there were maybe 5,000 Ducks fans, yelling IU. And the whole thing just echoes. Glorious. The greatest communal event you could possibly imagine. And then as soon as the Ducks scored that touchdown, Matt and I looked at each other. And you got to remember, we went to the Bears-Colts Super Bowl in Miami, and we're sitting next to each other, and Devin Hester runs it back for a touchdown, the opening kickoff. And then the Bears end up losing that game. They get Peyton Manning, whatever. We're like, Devin fucking Hester. But then we get the second touchdown, and it's relief. And then the fumble and the third touchdown, and it's disbelief. And the rest of the game was truly unbelievable. So now we move on to Miami. Hoosiers. It's just truly remarkable. One of the most incredible in-person live event experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, from a betting standpoint, it was really fun. Once again on the island, everyone was going crazy about this line going from 3.5 to 3. And I told you I knew some really smart guys waiting for the threes, and took position, got it. I told you I took a bunch of adjusted lines on Indiana. I've loved this team. Not that I had a read on it, but I've always talked about this Cignetti coaching, it's insane. The defensive stuff was insane. They knew exactly what play Oregon was going to run. I'm waiting for the Spygate check because it was too incredible how well their coach prepared. But for me, yesterday was a crazy day just because it was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother. I basically always do the same thing. I go see a terrible movie. If you have a birthday in January, your whole childhood, there's always terrible action movies in January. It's the month they come out. So, had a bunch of people were like, you want to come party? You want to go out? You want to do anything? And it was like, no, I'm going to go see a terrible movie, and then I'll come back, hopefully win some money on this Indiana team. So it was a good night. I saw Primate, horrible movie, if anyone's ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Classic story of family gets monkey kills everyone in the house. Just your standard movie. But, that football game really was all-timers, especially not just betting on them because I'm a fan of you and your friend. It's like I love this team, and we'll talk way more about it. Obviously, we're pressed on time here, but yeah, the what is it, 10 days now, 9 days until they play the next one. Was it on a Monday? So
yeah,
plenty of time to talk more Hoosiers, but man, what a time to be a fan of that team.
Listen, I posted a couple things on Twitter at Chad Millman or on Instagram, Millman C. You can see some of the pregame festivities, some of the postgame feelings. It was proud of Indiana, proud of Hoosier Nation. They showed up. They traveled. They really did. Now we got to get to work, Simon, and there's some karma on the agenda that we're going to have to talk about. This is a Wild Card Weekend version of our Strip Down in the Room eavesdropping Sharper Square episode. We're going to try to nail down our final 5 picks. A lot of injury news, a lot of line moves. Reminder, you can see the dynamic contest lines we are playing at the free Sharper Square football pick'em contest. If you signed up to play at sharpersquare.thevolume.com, follow me and Simon, Chad, and Simon BFFs. Chad, Simon BFFs. Totals and sides in the contest this week. So these are the games we're zeroing in on. First one up, Los Angeles Rams, 10.5-point favorites at the Carolina Panthers. Adams is playing. It's been holding at 10.5. This was Chad's choice. That's how much I love this Rams team. Is I am willing to fade a Panthers team in a spot we have never faded a Panthers team in our history together.
Yeah, this is definitely.
Can I drag you with me?
No, you cannot. I'm trying not to let you just because there's just other games I'd much prefer on the board if we're betting sides here. Total wise, if you want to do the under for this game, I'm happy to invest.
I got a strong opinion on the under too. Like the weather in the Southeast right now is pretty terrible. I'm not even sure I'm getting out of Atlanta because of tornado warnings.
And honestly, that is my only fear about the Rams, Chad. If this was good weather, I would be all over with you because I think we talked a little bit about it. Like I had this model out at 13, so I do like the Rams a lot here with Devontae Adams back, and totally see the Panthers not living up to this moment and kind of laying an egg here, especially Bryce Young. We've seen him just in certain games, he just is totally out of it, lays eggs. And, as much as your big time throws you want to say he made in that Bucs game last week, he really only had about a quarter and a half of good football. So this just feels like a total mismatch of the young, inexperienced, Panther team you're playing against a really legit Rams team, but it's the weather that's scaring me here, where some teams I think it's going to benefit them. We're going to talk about that coming up, but I don't know. The Rams, they've just been such a pass-heavy offense. It's going to be kind of interesting to see if they're going to lean into their run here. So, like I said, I'm betting it with you. I am actually shocked with it that I am betting it with you, betting this Rams. But, yeah, if I had to make a pick, I'd rather do the total here. I know that's not what we're used to here. We usually just do sides, but I just, with the weather included, I just feel like the safer bet here is the total on the under.
Simon, I have no ego in this. Our goal, 5-0. If we can't get to a consensus that we love this pick, we'll move on.
We'll come back.
I love the total too, so I'm happy to play the total, especially with the weather. We'll get back to it. Green Bay at Chicago, under 44.5. We're going to talk about the side in a minute, but I do want to talk about the total for a second because all week long, we've been hesitant to go all in on the Packers, but the total is something that we have agreed on. We both played the under 44.5. The weather is supposed to be rainy in the morning, but it's supposed to be clear and cold by the time the game kicks off.
Yeah, I'm sorry to do this to you, Chad. I absolutely love the Packers here. We're
not talking about that yet.
What do you want to talk about? The total still?
Yes, I want to talk about the total. I'm building up to it.
Well, I'm on the under with you. Nothing's changed. It was what, 46? Now it's down to 45, 44.5. So, yeah, I like the under. It's another game with the weather outdoors. We've talked about it. Just blindly bet these unders outdoor totals. It might not hit this year, but continuously long term they will hit. It's just a nice bet where people overestimate offense. They don't understand the pressure level, and yeah, this game, we don't know. It might snow, it might rain, whatever it might be. It's two offenses I think are going to be very slow and boring today.
All right, Matt Mitchell, since you've already got Packers -1 on the board here, we'll go into the Packers side. It's really 1.5 in most places. This is going to be our Rock and a Hard Place Bet of the Week, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Simon, I know you like the Packers here, and I just want to say, I'm in a 24-hour window here where I just watched Indiana dominate in such a way that the only comps are Yale from 1885 for how well they've been playing. I saw some stat where like Indiana has won more games by 30 points in a season while doing something else than any team in history except for the 1885 Yale football team. Yesterday, walking to the game, because you know how these things go as fans. We're fans at the end of the day. We're walking to the game, and Matt and I, who obviously are massive Bears fans as well, we came to the conclusion that it's highly unlikely the gods would allow us to go 2-0 this weekend. We decided we were willing to sacrifice the Bears because the Bears are on the upswing, whereas like who knows when the Hoosiers can do this again? The college football is fickle, right? So I have zero expectations the Bears are winning this game. So if you tell me right now we got to put the Packers in and it's all of a sudden one of your favorites, I can't crazy fight you on it.
Yeah, I got it. We got to do it. I'm having a lot of these other games I'm wavering a little bit on, but this one not so much. If anything, I've gotten more confidence as the week has gone along here, especially with Green Bay, and just talking to different bookmakers, talking to different people. It's just all Bears money. They can't stop taking Bears money, and I get it, right? If you're just a normal fan, you're walking in there and you're seeing the number 2 seed at home as a home dog now. It's just been never-ending amount of money the last 4 days pouring in on this Bears team. And, one of the sharper books I know has popped to 2.5 on this Packers team. So there's still really, really smart professional money coming on this Packers team, even this late. And I know it's lining up, though, just like yesterday. I mean, I knew there was plenty of really respected guys I know on the other side of Indiana, right? They're hammering Oregon, and I'm sure they all have their smart reasons. End up being a really dumb bet, what we literally call a sharp trap, where it's like these pros think they're getting a great number. Dude, you're off by 35 points. You look like an idiot. So that's definitely a fear here. We've seen this Bears team, right? They don't turn the ball over. If they get turnovers, they will win. I mean, that is the formula right there. That's what you do when you have not that talented of a defense. You protect the ball offensively and you get turnovers on big swings defensively. But this Packers team, the fact that they are so healthy, and everything I've read is that this is like the healthiest they've been in 6 weeks. So, we've seen it time and time again. They lean into Jacobs and the run game, and that's going to be their strength here. And I really am interested to see what the Bears have do, because they played already twice this year in both games. The Packers dominated those games. So, I gave up the stat. It's just really hard to win first time as a starter, and that's working against Caleb. And hey, miracles do happen. You remember last year the Bucs, they blew that game against Washington, right? They just like you say all the time, the pressure gets that big, teams tend to mess that up. So I see a window for this Bears, but I'm telling you, if they play this game 100 times, it feels like 60%, 65% of the time Green Bay wins this game. So unfortunately, the line has flipped. It would have been great if we still had gotten Green Bay as a +1 dog, but anything under 2 to me is a good value here on this Packers side.
I mean, I can accept it. And the people who are betting on the Bears just don't know the karma that they're facing right now. Whereas Indiana and Bears fans, that Venn diagram, they fully understand it. San Francisco at Philadelphia, the under 44.5. I'm talking about the under because this line has now pushed up to 6. We've been talking about the Eagles as the side since they were -3 on Sunday. We talked about it on Tuesday at 4 and 4.5. We talked about it again at 4 and 4.5. The value in the side is gone. Whereas we still both like the under 44.5, San Francisco at Philly. Trent Williams is confident he'll play for the Niners. Lane Johnson practiced all week. Is still questionable, but he has practiced for the first time in nearly 2 months. Something about Trent Williams playing actually makes me like the under a little bit more because it does make the Niners run game a little bit better.
Yeah, and this number has moved to 6 here in Jersey at Hard Rock. So.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5.5, there's one book left with it. I'm not going to fight you too hard on it because obviously I have not bet the Eagles at the 6. I bet every other number but the 6. So, You're right in theory. Like, we got burned last year. It might have been the Rams game. Basically covering the entire game, and the Rams back the door the 6.5. So you're probably right in your theory that this number's moved too much, and just go with the total. Like, another game we like the under. I don't know if it's good that Trent Williams is back and that affects the total towards the under, but I also think he's playing on a bum leg. Like, he has not taken any real practice reps. He basically was just doing light jogging and some field work yesterday on the side, and he's just, to me, one of the toughest guys, right? He's not going to miss this game. So whatever he needs to get done, he's going to be out there, but it's going to be 80% of a real Trent Williams. So not ideal for them facing an Eagles team that has 3 guys in the top 8 in pressure rate this season on their defensive line. So, it's like I've talked about all week. It just feels like a great match for an Eagles team that I do not trust their offense at all, but this just feels like a great dominant performance for them defensively with Vic. And people have seen those stats, right? Shane, I believe he's played him 4 times. The most points in his career Shannon offense has scored against Vic is like 13 points. So he's just always struggled in this matchup and against Vic's defense wherever Vic has been. So yeah, Chad, still love the Eagles. Still would take them if I had to at the -6, but like we were saying here, it's the value shifted so much. We feel like the safer bet here is the under.
Los Angeles Chargers holding strong as 3.5-point underdogs at the New England Patriots. There was a tweet this morning, Matt Mitchell sent along to us, that Bailey Zappi has more wins against teams that are over 500 in his career than Drake May does. This was our brass balls, and there's still 60% of the money or the bets coming in on the Patriots, and this number has not budged from 3.5. No one likes fading an MVP candidate, but when he's playing in his first playoff game, every trend tells you this is a bad spot to back the favorite, especially when he's playing a quarterback who has been covering as a dog consistently. So I still love the Chargers here.
I do too. And I have heard a lot from Patriots fans that basically a little bit of, you shouldn't be doubting us. It's not our fault or our schedule. No, like I've said a million times, no one's blaming them for playing well the schedule. It's more so that it just feels like they're unproven, and we want to see it before putting money into it. And like Chad said, we have all these trends backing the Chargers versus this Patriots team. It's just historically not a favorable spot for them. And, if this was May season 5 and he already played 3 or 4 playoff games, yes, I would love to back him here against Herbert. Herbert melts in the playoffs. We keep talking about that, but it feels like it's lined up with Herbert that this is a favorable match for him. I know, the injuries are still hitting this Patriots team. I think it was a Tongan on their defensive line, their best D lineman, who's the best against the run, is going to miss this game. Like, they do have guys still out here, and I think Hampton might actually tough it out and play. Who I talked about.
He says he's playing.
Yeah, tough son of a bitch. Like, he was literally in a walking boot 3 days ago. So we know the weakness of this Chargers team. We're going to live and die with it. It's this offensive line. If Herbert's getting torched, Vrabel's got the right game plan, we'll get burned here. But me and Chad are suckers for these type of numbers. We loved it right away.
Suckers.
If anything, it gives us even more confidence, like you're saying here. It hasn't budged at all, despite all this money coming on this Patriots team. A couple books did touch 4, but immediately went back down. So, like we always talk about, this is a late Sunday game. We'll see if the public absolutely gets crushed and they're chasing pretty heavy. Maybe they come in heavier on the Patriots, so we do get some force popping. But I have no issue grabbing the 3.5 still now. I'm looking at it right now. Some books are starting to juice it up. You're starting to get -115, -118s on it. So you can still get the 105s, the -110s on the -3.5. I would grab it now, or +3.5 on the Chargers. I would grab it now.
Simon Says this week was the Pittsburgh Steelers +3.5 hosting the Houston Texans. This line is down to 3. Could get down to 2.5. It's juiced in a direction where it could get down to 2.5. We both loved it at 3.5. You talked about still liking it at 3. I don't really have any reason to back away from this game. Like, I think the Steelers win this game outright.
Yeah, and I'm not going to – I want to save some time so we can do the Jags and Bills a little bit. But this one, I just – really quickly, I'm right there with you. This was a no-brainer. Even if it's 2.5 for a contest, obviously not ideal, but that's how much I believe in this Steelers team. I would take it if we had to, if it's 2.5. But I'm hoping we still get the hook at the 3.5.
All right, let's take a quick break here from Hard Rock, and we're going to come back and talk about a couple more games and sides and totals and that kind of stuff. Today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. With Miami making the national championship, you know Hard Rock Stadium will be rocking. And if you're going to the game, Hard Rock Bet is giving you a $10 bonus bet to get in on the action. If you're watching the game out in Miami, head to the Hard Rock Cafe Miami, Duffy's North Miami Beach, American Social Miami, and Batch Brickell. Hard Rock Bet is dropping $10 bonus bets there too. You can turn that free $10 bonus bet into a big win by placing the same game parlay, or even if you're just watching the game at home, there's still no better place to bet the natty than Hard Rock Bet, because it's Florida Sportsbook, so they're going crazy with promos for this one. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you get not only your winnings, but also an extra $150 in bonus bets. Even if your team may be out of the playoffs, that doesn't mean you have to sit on the sidelines. Between same-game parlays, live betting, a can't-miss welcome offer, and new promos dropping every day, Hard Rock Bet has you covered all postseason long. That's Hard Rock Bet. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit today. Let's get to the other game that had been sort of in that 1.5 to 1.5 range on either side. The Bills have basically been favorites all week. They are now trending to being pick'em. It's -1 at Hard Rock Bet against Jacksonville. You said that you'd bet the +1.5 in either side. Where are you feeling right now about this side, knowing that Matt Mitchell's confidence is greater than Kurt Signetti when he is on the sideline 30 yards away from anybody else on his own sideline while watching a play?
Yeah, and we talked about it. I've mainly put most of my investment into the over here and the Jags first half. And if I'm not going to take a position on Buffalo now, and I'm just going to stick with the Jags, especially now the line's flipping. There's still like one or two big books out there with +1.5. But like you said, Hard Rock, especially here in Jersey, they've flipped now. They're -1 on this Jags team. So I just can't wait for this game. All these games are great, but this to me is the best. Like, this feels like this has real ramifications for the AFC.
Yeah,
on a team that could potentially make a big run. And it's the old what's going to bend or break here is the run game of this Jags team, who hasn't given up a 75-yard rusher all season, going to go against the number one rushing offense in all football. And who's going to win that, right? Is Joe Brady going to have this offense and this scheme in the right mindset to run over this Jags team that you can say, well, who have they faced? They play Jonathan Taylor twice a year. Like, what are we doing here? Like, they've faced plenty of good running backs this season. Don't act like they've just had a cakewalk, this Jags run defense. So that's what I can't wait to see. And, the Josh Allen haters, Chad, they are dying for him to lose this game. They've already lined up. There is no excuse because these other quarterbacks have been knocked out, as if that has any effect on Josh Allen's legacy. But I think this is the game that's going to show up that it matters having a number one receiver. And I'm really interested to see how the Jags react, because they got some great receivers on their side. And that's why I'm taking the over here. It just feels like it's going to be a game where they're going to get up early and Josh Allen's going to have to pull miracles, try to pull from behind. So, yeah, I like the Jags first half, obviously, like the total and the over. It's the only over I bet. And it's also come down as well because I think they're supposed to get bad weather as well. Yeah. So another game where, could be really sloppy playing conditions. Which team will that favor? Who knows?
So let's think about this for a second, because heading into today, we liked the Rams as a side and we liked the Bears as a total. It sounds like we might want to flip those and go Rams under 45.5 and Packers -1.5. In addition to, I think, Eagles under 44.5, Chargers +3.5, Steelers in the contest, we can get them at 3.5.
Even if you switch out the other ones, you can still get 3.5.
Yeah, as of this morning.
Yeah. So again, if you really believe in the Rams, I bet it. I will support it. I know it's your play this week. I got no issue with it. But yeah, for my one switch, and I'll throw my hat in the ring on that Green Bay side.
All right, then here's what we're gonna do. We're keeping the Rams. Rams minus 10.5.
Okay.
I want to keep them. And we'll take out the Packers under and we'll put in Packers minus 1.5. So our final 5 are going to be the Packers. It's minus 2.5 in the contest.
The Packers are.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I mean, I guess we'll do it. If I get burned, if it lands on 2, I'm going to feel like such an idiot.
Well, I'm taking the Rams at minus 10.5. I'm going to feel like an idiot too. Packers minus 2.5, Rams minus 10.5, Chargers plus 3.5, Steelers plus 3.5, and the Eagles, Niners under 44.5.
All right, brother.
This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. We'll be back on Sharper Square on Monday night before the Steelers-Texans game. We're going to review what happened over the weekend and preview that game, see where we land. We will be putting that in the contest, so we'll have some outstanding business to attend to. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, download us at Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars. Say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's playoff time.